Okay, now we have a Rush project and we're going to add auto installer to the Rush project. What is auto installer? Auto installer is basically a set of commands and or scripts that you want to run for tooling purposes to your project. One example could be Prettier, or the other example would be adding conventional commit to your project, to the Git project. And what is a conventional commit? Conventional commit would be, for example, when you're writing a commit message on a Git, you can use anything. You can write whatever you want, but there is no structures. Conventional commit is going to give you structures and standards to your commit, exactly same as what happened to the Prettier or the coding standards or formatting standards you have, for example, tab versus spaces, or 2 spaces versus 4 spaces, camel case, and all of those things are going to be here too. Depends on what you have done and the commit you're going to do. You are going to choose a subject. The subject could be, is it a fix, is it a feature, breaking changes, build related to CI, or is it a chore, documentation, a star refactor, performance, or a test. And then you're going to write your message. It's very important to have standards for the convention for your commit messages in order to just later on it's easier to read for everyone. If you want to look for the breaking changes, if you want to see all the commit belong to the testing purposes or performance purposes, and then you can use it for different tools to, for example, generate changelog as an example, or other things. So we are going to add a conventional commit to our Git. So when you're going to write a commit, then if the commit message is not meeting these standards, then it will be rejected. How we're going to do it? We are going to add auto installer to the Rush project we have. To get there, we need 3 packages. We need node types, we need config conventional from the commit lint, and also we have CLI from the commit lint project. Okay, and in order to do that, it's just very easy. So we need to add auto installer very simply, and I will just come here, so just to not distract anyone from the GIF behind. So we're gonna do rush init auto installer, and we will give it a name. The name could be anything. I'll just call it rush commit lint. Okay, by doing that, we have inside the command we have auto installer, and inside auto installer we have the name we're giving it, rush commit lint and package.json. Next thing we need to do, we need to add those 3 packages. How we are going to do it? We can use pnpm. If you have installed pnpm globally, good. If not, just come to the pnpm.io and install the pnpm. Once you have that one, you need to install all of these 3 packages here. And so let's just navigate to that directory. It's called cd common auto installer, and then here. Now I'm going to just paste the command, which is going to install commit lint, config conventional, config lint CLI, and then the node. Okay, so we have added these 3 dependencies. I'm going to close it. These dependencies are not going to be shared, and you cannot use it within your projects, but this project, but you can use it with your inside the Rush project. Next thing we need to do, we need to update the auto installer. So let's just do rush update auto installer and then -- name. What we want to update is the rush commit lint. Okay, it's going to install all of them. As you can see now, we're going to have node modules and pnpmrs, npmrc, and all of those things. So these 3 packages are installed. Next thing we need to do is to go to the config and look at the command line. Inside the command line, we are going to add a command. We need to give it a name, So basically, okay, the name would be commit lint, and we are going to run it as command kind would be global. The difference between bulk and global is bulk is going to run this command on every projects we have. Global, it's a global command, so which is available in a global level. And then we're going to have the summary. Our summary would be anything, so it's going to be this command will check for git commit message before committing to make sure it meets the conventional git messages. Okay, there we go, and we'll see. Okay, good. Now we have summary. We need to just add a few more things. We are going to use auto installer. So it's going to be auto installer name, the name of auto installer, exactly what we have here, what we just created. It's going to be rush then dash commit lint, and there will be a shell script as well. So the shell command for this one would be commit lint, yes, that is correct. And this shell command is actually coming from, if you remember, we have installed this CLI, and this CLI has commit lint. So you can just check your commit message against this commit lint. So we are going to add that one here. And last thing is to add a save for simultaneous rush process, which is actually true. So we're going to use true here. As you know, our commit messages are like this one. So you do just git commit -m and then message. This message is the parameter which we're going to check against this shell command. So we need to add a parameter to the command line as well. So I'll scroll down. We have parameters, and in the parameters we are going to just say what is a parameter kind. So parameter kind is it's definitely string because our message is a string. And then what would be the argument name? Argument name would be message. And then the next thing we need to do is to use the long name. So I'm going to use long name will be -- edit. This -- edit is where we're going to use in a few seconds. And then we are going to have the description. Okay, now that we have description, the last thing we need to do, we just need to add it to associate these parameters, this param to a command. So it's going to be associated command. It will be array. We only want to associate it to one command, which is commit lint. So we're going to add a file to the root directory, and we're going to call it commit lint config. Commit lint -config .js. Okay, so the content would be quite simple. It's actually going to the config conventional, which we have installed from here, and going to use this one for our conventionals. Basically, the convention is also following what we have talked about in the conventional commit website. The next thing we want to do is to add all of these things to the Git hook. So if you go to the command directory, you have Git hooks. You're going to create a file here. Let's just call it commit message and paste something here. So what it does actually is it's going to run the commit lint. This is basically another way to run a rush command. So you're just going to call it from the command scripts, which is here and is actually provided by rush. So you're going to do rush commit lint -- edit, and $1 is the argument or the parameter which we have defined here. So we have package.json, we have auto installer, we have updated the command line. If you go to here, so we have the config, we have the auto installer, we have the command line, we have the message, and now it's time to test everything. So I will clear my terminal. I will look at the status. Okay, if I can type status, There we go. Next thing we need to do is to do rush install. Now we have rush install. It just link everything. And the next thing I'm going to do is to add all of them, git add every file here. And let's look the status. We have everything good. Now we're going to write the message git commit -m. And if I just write something which is nonsense, it's not going to work, because the conventional commit is going to stop it. Let's see. So if you look at this message is actually not following any of these things, because we are saying we need to have a subject, which is either fix, feed, breaking changes, and all of these things, and then a message. So something like this. So according to what we talk about, this one shouldn't work. Let's see. I'll just press enter. It's going to install the auto installer, and it's going to, well, let's just wait a few seconds. There we go. It is starting the commit lint, and so it's starting commit lint, and then it's going to give us an error. So add auto installer for project to cater for commit conventions. That was the message we gave, and the message doesn't have the subject, or the type is empty. But let's do it differently now this time. So we know it was a feature we add to the project. Let's call it feed. And so this is our subject, and that's our message. Now let's press enter. There we go. This time we could add it. And congratulations, now you have the conventional commit hooked to your git commit message, and now you can have a clear and better commit messages in your project. Thank you so much for watching this video, and please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the video if you enjoyed it, or if you want to share it with someone else. I'll see you next time.